Them man there, ain't nothing like them man there. My man, I stand up, give them man chairs. Them man there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of For the Culture TV, and the big bro is back from Dancing on Ice.
Dancing on Ice and Panto.
And Panto, there you go.
I'm doing everything.
Doubling up on it.
Doubling up.
Doubling
Double
up
or
on
nothing,
it.
that's
I
what they
love
say.
that. I love that.
Richard Blackwood, if you don't know. So I did there. For the one or two out there, don't be disrespectful, you know I am. But anyway, let's keep going. Because I got to bring the jokes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And that's what he does.
Yeah.
I'm your boy, Jason Barret. And please introduce our esteemed guest.
Now, this man doesn't really need no introduction. I've been knowing this man for nearly 2 decades, nearly. He was a boxer. He's now very much in control. If you watch Sky, okay, you got the panel sitting either side, but you got him in the middle. Delegating. Making them know how the thing's set. Right? Do you know what I mean? We're going to talk more about that. But ladies and gentlemen, please, Mr. Spencer.
Jeez, master knowledge.
I was going to say master knowledge.
Master knowledge, the knowledge. Salute, my brother.
No, man.
Good to have you in the building, man. Good to have you in the building.
Thank you very much for having us on.
First of all, thank you for coming down, right? Let me come and support. And also, let the people know that one or two out there that are not too familiar with you, what you're about, right? So I mentioned you used to box many moons ago. Is it many moons or was it last week?
Apples and oranges down the market. Yeah. That's just a box. Couldn't box at all, mate. Bloody useless he was. Nah, yeah, used to box professionally. What was it? Oh man, it was like 7-year pro career.
Yeah.
Highlighted, was it 2003 was like the highlight. Was like in a BBC Fight of the Year, myself, Dave Walker. And then I retired at the end of 2003. Became the youngest ever manager, promoter and trainer in the country.
Wow.
That's right.
And started to manage guys. We started off Hard Knocks Promotions, which went really well for like 5 years. I made something like 8 champions in the space of like 20 months. Wow. And then retired from that, might as well say retired from that, and then got a knock on the door from Sky who said like, would you want to come in and host a podcast? And at first it was like a bit cynical, and then it just grew, and they saw the numbers that we're getting was like crazy numbers. So I'm really, really, really thankful for that platform. And then from then it's just germinating to other areas. And then like we do a lot more motivational speaking, you know, that I've spoken with your guy, Les Brown.
Yes.
He's been mentoring me now for like 2 years now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, everything's a blessing. So I count my blessing, like to be sat here with you guys here. I mean, Jay, likewise. Richard Blackwood, you know. I told you I know, I said Richard Blackwood, a bad man, you know. Richard was the guy. Like, our age, because like, I'm born 73, he's born 72.
Yeah.
So like, that age group there, and you know, so I get well now, we grew up.
How you shape it up there?
Yeah. You're like, what? Listen, my barber take an hour to trim me, you know. Well, an hour. They don't know it's time. You know when you get name brand, they take time. And they literally take long to cut your hair because they want people to move. Man, they cut his hair, you know.
It's very true, you know.
Yeah, of course they do.
Pre-TV, it's about a 20-minute job. Like fade is all one
TV is a different thing.
TV, the man says, sit on, man.
Yeah.
Or wet shave. You go, wet shave you before.
Yeah. We'll take out the fire stick as well. I ain't gonna hair in my ear. Try to burn me up and that. But yeah, so that was the hot minute that I've known Richard. So like to see like the growth in like what people do, like, and not only externally but internally. So I've seen internal growth.
Yeah.
Then that makes you feel good inside that you know these people. Or it's kind of crazy because like I got like nearly everybody's phone number in my phone book. It's like, man, I just know everybody. And it's not like I know them, know them. And they'll always have a story to tell about, right, yeah, Spencer this or whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? You jump out the window that time, innit? When coming to us. So all kind of, right, so I've just, like I'm saying, for me to do what I'm doing right now, I'm grateful, man.
So can I ask you, right, like you seem, I mean, obviously I know the finished product of yourself from knowing you from back then to now. You always seem though, just in your brief introduction there, you did your boxing, then you retired. Yeah. You know, everything you've done, it's like you finished it, then moved on to the next layer and then finished it. Is that something that's always been your way? Have you always thought like that? Or did something just come to you at the time and you went, I want to stop here?
It's crazy that you say that, right? Because I remember my last pro fight was October 30th, 2003, and I lost to a guy called Gilbert Eastman. Me and Gilbert were really good friends. We were injured, and I was in the hospital. I was one of the first people to see him in hospital. Like he was in a coma in one of his fights.
I heard about that.
Yeah,
Yes.
so he stayed on a little bit too long. I remember going there, and we sat with him. But I remember when I lost to him, and like me and Danny Williams grew up, we were like bench and batty as kids. Like Danny Williams was my guy. He was like my bigger brother. And I remember leaving Alexandra Palace, and I was walking out, and I said, you know what? I'm done with this, you know. And Danny, what are you talking about? I said, I'm done with this. And he was like, what are you talking about? Like, nah, Spence, nah. Because he was in commentary then for the BBC, and he comes downstairs to come and see me like, right, if you're all right. And I was like, well, I'm good, but I'm done with this, you know. I'm all right. I'm going to do something. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to go do something. And anybody who knows me just knows like I'm kind of like a go-getter person. So it's not like, sometimes it's like to accept change.
Yeah.
Accept change.
Psalm of Serenity.
Right. All right. Do you know this?
Yeah.
What was it? Howard Wilson, former British Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Right. In 1976, when he got re-elected, right? The only reason why that stays out in my head because it's the same year of the Olympics and Sugar Ray Leonard won the gold medal. Then Sugar Ray Leonard was my man. I love Sugar. I knew everything on Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yeah.
But then, and he said like, he who rejects change is the architect of decay, because the only human institution that rejects progress is the cemetery.
Wow.
So you think about that, right? If I was to go reject anything or like to reject progress, I might as well die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might as well just give up right now. I might as well say, well, then that's it for me.
Yeah.
But when people say you got the gift of the gab or no, it's not only that, but I know how to implement it or benefit not only to myself but to other people around me. It's like, you know what I mean? Like my brother-in-law would always say to me, like, you know, like your network is your net worth, right? But it's not, because you got a network to get work. It's as simple as that. Because everything is a bringing.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
like everything.
that.
No, but it's the
love
truth
that.
though. Everything is a bringing. People don't realize this. Everything is a bringing. So when we look on certain things, like, all right then, Richard, how did you get on EastEnders? How did you go?
Well, I had to get to a certain level. In actual fact, you know what? I'm glad you said that. So what happened was, right, this is actually really true in terms of a bringing. Julia Crampsey, right, is the head of casting. My agent knows her. He kept on saying to her, I want you to come and see Richard doing Shrek. She would come and watch me, and she would say, he's good, but he's not ready yet, right? But he was always planting the seed. She would always come and watch me. Then one day, they came up with this idea, right? And she called him and she said, how's Richard looking? He goes, he's ready. And she goes, okay. And little did I know, once I got the job, they'd written the role for me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You see what I'm trying to say? Everything is a hookup.
Yeah, it's true.
Everything.
You told me that before.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Everything is a hookup. Everything is a hookup. So it's like me getting into Sky, hookup.
Okay.
Right? But unfortunately, this is what happens, especially like people, you know what I mean, of the darker complexion persuasion, right? We believe that we haven't got the hookups, right? Or we just think, oh, if I get really educated, then no, getting educated is gonna let you have that conversation, right? But you have to be skilled, or you have to have the belief in yourself that, right, I can actually do this.
Yeah.
Right?
Facts.
So before anything happened, I'm saying, no, I'm gonna go do this anyway. Like, I remember Darren Hamilton, Darren Hamilton was the British light welterweight champion, or super lightweight champion. He won that title on 5 days' notice against Ashley Fearon. Ashley Fearon is actually my friend, but I managed Darren.
Right.
And it was a big upset because he was something like 15-1 underdog, and he won the fight. And then we went to Sky to do ringside. So we've gone into Sky, so they said, yeah, we want you in, so can get you both of you on the set. So we're going into Sky now. So we've gone into Sky, and I've been there quite a few times and stuff. So we've gone in there, and if you haven't been to Sky, you can get gassed just by looking. It's a ridiculous building. It's the Sky Village, because it is a village.
It's a village.
Right, it's massive in there. You got like, something like 7,000 people that work there. Right, so we've gone into Sky, and he's seen all the lights and everything. And he was sitting down, right, ready to go and film, and he's like, his hand was shaking, and I'm like, what's the matter with you? He's like, oh boy, I'm nervous, fam, I'm nervous. I need a stiff drink. And in my head, I'm thinking like, because you didn't claim these things. So if you don't claim these things, when you get into them, you are going to be nervous. You are going to be, and certain people are going to look at that and say, oh, you're cocky, you're arrogant. No, it's not. There's a difference between self-belief, right?
Yes.
And you acquiring the knowledge to have that self-belief.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then you just going in there like, yeah, you're being cocky, you're being arrogant, but you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
Absolutely.
Right. So these are the things. So certain parts of your life that you got to accept change. But you got to accept change, but you got to prepare for
The next level.
What's coming?
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So you're one of your mentors, and I know you brought him over and done an amazing event, Les Brown. Now Les Brown is probably one of the greatest motivational speakers.
He's the greatest motivational speaker.
There you go. There you
right?
go. Yeah, he's the man. And how did that come about? Again, you attracted him into your life. Like, talk to us, because that's massive.
I remember speaking to my missus 5 years ago, and I'm saying, yeah, you know what? I'll be on stage with Les Brown, you know. I listen to Les Brown every night, and I was like, I'll be on stage with Les Brown. So she's looking at me like, you know what, if it's boxing, you're the guy. I know everybody in boxing. You're the guy, just your platform, that's boxing. But Les Brown, Spence, come on, man. I'm saying you stay there, don't me? Right? You stay there, right?
The motivation,
all right. You know what I mean? And it was like, I was like, all right, cool. Now, April of 2017, Anthony Joshua fights Klitschko, right? Vladimir Klitschko in a classic fight. It's one of the greatest fights ever, right? And in the fight now, Anthony Joshua's moving around. Anthony Joshua knocks down Klitschko, and Klitschko gets up, and then the following round, Klitschko falls, faints, boom, lick him with the right hand. Anthony Joshua, you know what I mean? The pounded yam never hold him up. Boom, and he drops down on the floor. But Les Brown's got a very famous quote where Les Brown says, like, when life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because you can look up, you can get up.
Yes.
Now, as many of us have been knocked down, right? Being knocked down, ain't no shame in that, you know. I've been knocked down, but your option is whether you're going to stay there.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You got option, right? Do you want to get up? And sometimes the getting up is I've been there, right? It's groggy. Certain times you get knocked down, and it's like something's holding your chest, like it's not. I'm up paralyzed there, but you say, no, I'm going to get up. The determination, the human will. Anthony Joshua got up.
Yeah.
But I said that on the show. And everyone at Sky, like my producer, it's such a good quote. And I always props Les Brown. I don't teeth quotes, you know. I tell you where I get them from.
Of course.
Right?
Of course. Me too.
Right. Yeah. And I get home, and then I get a message on my Facebook, because Sky shared it all around on their platforms. I get a Facebook message. And I said, oh, I've really enjoyed you mentioning Les Brown on your show, and like your boxing knowledge is really on point. That is incredible. And like, I'd really like to introduce you to Les Brown. I said, wait a minute. I look at this thing, okay. So I'm really thinking, John Leslie Brown, that's his son.
Wow.
I said, for real? So contact him. Then boy said, oh yeah, give me a number. So we're talking. So we're speaking for about a month. And we said, like, yeah, I'll just keep on, because I'm a boxing fan, my dad's a boxing fan as well, but you're just on point. And also, we ain't gonna lie to you, but it's really nice to see like a black guy on there, but a black guy who knows the game. Yeah. And you're on point with the history. I said, oh, thank you very much. Boom, he goes out, have you got Zoom? I'm like, what's Zoom? He said, no, it's an app, like you can have conference calls on it.
Okay.
Download Zoom.
Yep.
So boom, downloaded Zoom. So I get in from work, and what I usually do, I get in, play with the kids, not in suits every day, as today I'm not, right? And I'm chilling in tracksuit and a hoodie, I'm good. Then he phones me, goes, oh, Spence, my dad wants to talk to you now. So, all right, mate, you know what? Let me just go put the kids to sleep. No, let me get up, iron out my shirt, yeah? Iron out my tie, right? We'll spray a little Febreze on it. I don't know why, because you can't smell it through the film, but you don't know.
Make sure, you never know.
Make sure.
Yeah.
Boom. I said, all right, go. Boom. I said that. So my missus looking at me like, what are you doing? I said, yeah, I'm going to talk to Les Brown. She said, don't lie, shut up. So I'm going to talk to Les Brown in a minute. I ain't out my clothes. So I'm ready now. You know what I mean? Boom. I'm in my tracksuit, t-shirt and a tracksuit on the couch.
Okay.
And then your son said, look, my dad wants to speak to you.
Yes, I remember.
Right?
Yes.
Right. I got up, I ironed a shirt and a tie.
I know.
And my wife
he came on, he was all laid out. And I'm looking like a homeless person.
And my wife said to me, what are you doing? I said, I'm talking to Les Brown in a minute. And she said, like, what? But obviously Les Brown isn't a materialistic person. I said, I don't care. I'm speaking to the godfather of motivational speaking. I have to make that impression.
Well, I want to thank you very much, but you were impressive when I talked to you. And the reason that he is, and I want to share this to you, I don't know if you have a goal, a dream, of what it is you want to achieve. Zig Ziglar said something that's very important, and I believe today, and that is something that you exhibit. He said, in order to become successful, you've got to be willing to give enough people what they want, and they will give you what you want. In other words, my favorite book says, the greatest among you will be your servant. And you have a servant leadership mindset. You have been giving your time, your energy, your contacts. You have been relentless and determined that this place is going to be full. And I can say to you, first of all, I want to say thank you for what you've done. And I can't tell you the number of calls I've gotten from Althea who said, listen, he's loose, he's doing it, he's making it happen.
FaceTime was talking. First thing he said to me, young man, I like your style. I like your style. You know what I mean? You come on here, you speak to me, I like your style. Look at you, I'm looking like a bum here, you're all dressed up. And I said, don't worry about that, man. I'm just coming from work, man. Not a big thing. You know what I mean?
Just what I was wearing.
Yeah. Then he goes like, yeah, I wanna come to the UK and do some talks. I've got a lawyer over here who helps me. Her name is Althea Grant. And he goes to me like, yeah. I said, oh, wicked. All right, give me her details and our contact. He said, no. No time like the present. Let me tell you this. I had a friend who was speaking about Wayne Dyer, who's another motivational speaker. He's a wicked speaker. He passed away a few years ago. He goes, Wayne Dyer was in a hospital not far from me. And he was in hospital because Les Brown's a cancer conqueror. Mm-hmm. So he goes, I'll come see you on a Tuesday. And he died on a Monday. Wow. So he goes, there's no time like the present. Mm-hmm. And for that, I start living that. Any little thing I get in my head, I just go do it straight away. I don't business.
Yeah.
Gotta go, I'm gonna go do it.
Yeah.
So after that, he phones her, we're talking, she's telling me like, I said, your name's Grant. She said, oh, I said, where you from? She said, Jamaica. I said, for real? So I'm Jamaican, you know? Well, Jamaican descent. It's like, that red passport's powerful, don't it?
It really is.
Yeah, trust me. Oh, yes. The Queen right to the national, right? Don't get twisted. Right, so I was like, okay, that's cool. I said to her, she said, hey, my dad's quite famous. Goes, is your dad Bunny Grant? She went, what? So I told her dad's whole history. Like in 1963, he fought for the world title. I told her her dad's whole history, and she was like in tears because her dad ill. And he recently just passed away. They're having a big governmental funeral for him next month in Jamaica. Mm-hmm. So my condolences to the Grant family because he was excellent fire, just excellent fire. So we had a really good talk, and then he came. And when he came over, I got to spend so much time with him. And he said, like, young man, I'm going to mentor you. And I was like, oh, I ain't got money to pay you for that. I'm not mentoring. I mean, I'm not Richard Black with money yet. Richard, I'm giving me a loan, you know. I look at him crip there, you know. You know, say size 9, you know. A size 9, you know. Right? You go to Jamaica, you say, like, oh, me like them shoes there. You get them ones there. And like, right, but they won't fit you. No, me put paper on it. You know them ones there. You know,
foot in the thing, you know.
Only heel at the top.
Yeah. No, me put paper on it. Don't worry about that. Oh, yes. Me like the top we have on. Right. So, yeah. He was like, no, I'm going to do it for free because I just like you. And it was just crazy because off of the back of that, then like, we was having a discussion when he was over, he was in his room and he had all his bodyguards, he had his big entourage. So I've gone in there. People don't know who I am. I've gone in there. Mm-hmm. So he's there like, but he gets up, Mr. Fearon, come in. I was like, what are you hugging up this guy here for? And like, yeah. So maybe it was a reason. And it goes like, who do you think would have won out of Anthony Joshua and Lennox Lewis? I love Anthony to bits, but Lennox would have done him bad, right? I'll be real. Okay. Yard man style, Capleton, red eye. Right, so I was like, no. I said, I swear for God. I said, you know what? Let me FaceTime Anthony now. So I FaceTime Anthony. And Anthony's a man don't answer his phone more than saying now. Mm-hmm. But then the universe was on our side. FaceTime Anthony, and he answered the phone. I said, Anthony, I'm with Les Brown. He said, no way. So everyone's hearing it. No way. I said, we're with Les Brown right now. He goes, let me talk to him. So I pass him over and they're reasoning, they're talking and da. So the people that were like, who's this guy? Like you could just ring the heavyweight champion of the world just like that. You couldn't answer for, don't worry about that. Boom. Then I was like, all right then, 1 second. FaceTime Lennox now. FaceTime Lennox. Lennox ain't got up yet. So we're sitting down there. Then the phone started blowing off. I go, boom, Lennox, I'm with Les Brown. Ooh, the motivational guy? Yeah. Boom, man, let me talk to him, man. Boom, so Les Brown got lyrics though. Les Brown has got some, listen, I just learned so much. Just being around him for that time, I learned so much. It's different like when you're FaceTime and they're dropping bars on you. Mm-hmm. But to be in a man's presence that my game just rose, and then everybody was saying like, I ain't never doubting you on anything. Like Spud phoned me, said, nah, bruv, what you had Les Brown over here? I said, yeah, Les Brown. It's like last time out when I was with Richard was when Floyd Mayweather was over.
Well, I was just about to segue onto that.
I hated that show.
I was just
the comedy
about to
there.
segue
The
onto
comedy
that.
didn't go down well that day.
No, but you're saying this, yeah? You're saying the comedy, it did.
Okay.
I laughed.
Yeah.
So I don't care about nobody else. You see,
No,
I laughed.
No,
funny to me.
no, please.
Right.
The
Don't
man
worry
said,
about it.
it did, why? I laughed.
Yeah, right. It was funny to me, right? And you got to remember, the Americans, them, and you know, Floyd Mayweather's of Jamaican descent, you know that. I spent loads of time with him. Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
Granddad's Jamaican.
Okay.
So his mum's father.
Yeah.
Right? So the Sinclairs them. So yeah, Sinclair. Oh yes,
yeah.
them there. Yes, them is Steve from Jamaica right now. Yeah, so they're Jamaican.
Right.
But you know what America is very twisted. Like, oh man, I'm an American man. They got this thing on right. So, but when Richard was on stage, Richard told quite a few jokes. But he told a joke that he met Floyd Mayweather out in America, and to me that was funny. And you came up to me there, and like Floyd was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. But certain times when Richard was doing his jokes, he was doing them in Jamaican. And you have to remember, Americans, they can't really catch the twang.
Yeah.
So Ashley Fearon, who former British champion who signed to Floyd, he was translating for Floyd. But you never see that because you're in the moment now. You're saying, well, you're up there doing your thing and say, well, how come these people not laughing? Well, I was kicked on this boy. Crouch in the middle. Right. So he's there singing like, what? But I'm saying it was funny to me.
Yeah.
I don't business about anybody else. It was funny to me. You don't laugh, that's your business. Telling you that now. It was funny.
Well,
I'm never knocking no one shine.
How did it come about though? The whole, I mean, because come on now, you're bringing over the undefeated, undisputed, like, these are big things, right? You know, man's just reeling it off like, yeah, last time I saw Richard was Floyd Mayweather. He never brought Floyd over, like.
No, what it was, some guys brought over Floyd.
Okay.
And it was like, I'm in my office, chilling in the office. At the time, I was running sports. I was running the sports section for an app company. So I get a phone call, and it was like, oh yeah, Spence, man, like the champ. I said, what are you talking about? The champ, right? Now the champ wants you to host him.
Okay.
Right? Because like we seen like I've been fortunate to spend time with Floyd, been in these camps, everything else. I've been very fortunate on that, and I got a lot of time. I got a lot of admiration for him as an athlete. I think he's superb.
Yes.
Right. I'm not don't even know people's personal lives more than Sir. Right. But I deal with people how they deal with me, and he always shows me a lot of love and respect. So it's going to be reciprocated. So I get a phone call. I was like, okay then. Well. So my chest get high now. Well, if it's flying Mayweather, I want 5,000 pounds. Right? I'm not coming out to my house. How about that? If the man's asks if it me, you better pay me. Right? And they were like, nah. Nah, we ain't got that. Yeah, we ain't got that in the budget. We ain't got that in the budget, but we'll look after you. I said, okay then, give me 10 tables. No, I can't give you 10. Give me 5 then, because I know I can shot them.
Yeah.
When is it? It's at 6:30. 6:30 when? The same day, you know?
No.
Brother, let me tell you, I'm in the office, my head's all looking all mashed up, right? I'm saying, boy, I'm ringing home. Hey, babes, iron out my clothes, right? Please, I'm coming home right now. Right now, I'm coming home. I had to go barbershop. It was a madness, and got there on time, and I hosted Floyd. It was nice because since then, ever since then, when he comes over, I always get the shout. Yeah, I've been, like I said, I'm so grateful and so blessed. Like I'm saying, everything's a hookup. There was a guy called Ed Robinson, who's now a senior producer at Sky, who brought me in at Sky. He said, right, we're doing this show, and do you want to come in and do it with us? And I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, right, Sky, money, must be some big money then, so cool, I'm coming. And it wasn't. They said, no, because it's a pilot, we're going to pay you travel expenses.
Yeah.
Now, this is what I'm trying to say to you. Negro inside of me. I said, you know, if you're right? I said, no. Humble.
Yeah.
Humble, burn this bear. Humble myself, my little one.
Yeah,
humble
yeah.
yourself.
That's right.
Humble, cool. I'll go there, I'll do my thing. And then you have to be so good that they can't deny you.
That's right.
And that's what I tried to do. But then sometimes I was over-trying. I said, no, I'm just going to do me. I'm going to do me. I'm going to be sincere with it as well. And I've made my passion become a paycheck. But it was a hookup. Because how many times have you gone into Kentucky and they say, right, Richard Blackwood. And you say, right, well, I want a 2-piece meal, but you want 10 pieces. You know you're going to get it. You're going to get it. You're Richard Blackwood now.
Yeah.
Right, so everything is a hookup. So I'm telling you, so I just realised that. That's the hookup.
Let me ask you something, because we got to wrap up. But
I've got a couple as well, but go on.
Yeah. There's so much. But the importance of mentoring, because you said that Les is now is mentoring you now. For our young men coming up, and our young women, I always, I've got to get out that habit. And our young women that are coming up, the importance of having good role models, but also actual mentors.
You know what? You see, like we talk about men, really and truly, unfortunately, it's not like our day. In our day, what year was you born?
76.
Well, all right then. So it's different. You know what I mean? Like, we had like a family base.
That's right.
Unfortunately, now the family base now is dying. Mm-hmm. But we meant to look on young kids to make them know, like, right, we're family. Because if you should break down the history properly of like when our parents first came to this country, right? Trust me, you see when you're walking out on that common out there, that's where they stayed, on the common, right? And I'm talking pre-Windrush. These things were set up. Teddy boys were the ones who used to beat up black people like no one's business. My dad would tell me stories about the Teddy boys. Yeah, them take bicycle chain at beach, Bicycle chain, Wow. Right, you have to realize that of those times, the old stories ain't shared anymore. So we don't know like of the things that you want to hold on to from what you don't, because we're just making up our own realities now. Right. And our own realities, they're not based on anything. So it's so important that we have mentors. I've been very, very fortunate. I've had really good people around me from young who kind of was pushing. And maybe they're pushing for their own selfish reason, but I don't care. They were pushing. When I was boxing, it was still pushing. You know what I mean? What I'm doing right now, they were pushing. I'm running the foundation right now. They were pushing. It's so important that we have mentors, because youths haven't got any direction. And you acting as a mentor, you're actually meant to be a guide. But unfortunately, we're looking for figures of being role models who ain't got no guidance themselves. So it is that old cliche of the blind leading the blind. Yeah. So it's important. So when you see, I think people start to realize when you get your bus now, you get your bus. You get your bus and you're up there. And when you're up there now, it's not just you. Yeah. Those days, you can't be selfish with it. It's not you. You know what I mean? Happiness is not complete unless you share it. Wow. Right? And who else is the best to go and share it with is not the younger generation. And when you say you share it with the younger generation, it's not only just your kids, but it's your children's friends, it's your children's friends. It goes on till you are not even linked to that person, bar that they can look at you to say there is some inspiration there. There's got to be inspiration. Wow, Richard was down, now he's up again. Do you understand? There's got to be inspiration in that. You know what I mean? There's got to be, wow, Spencer's got the highest rated boxing podcast in the whole world. There's got to be some inspiration. There's got to be some inspiration that I haven't to coin it. There's got to be inspiration that you can be yourself, but you have to have morals and integrity. Loads of us don't have morals and integrity, because they are so tunnel vision that I've got to get there, but they don't care who they were to defecate on. Right? My dad always said,
they might have to see them again though.
Exactly, right? Just like you're saying, in bits in the movies, right? People get bits in the movies.
That's right.
Like my dad used to say to me, the man that doodles on the road don't remember that he doodled on the road, but it's the man that steps in it know that someone's doodling in the road.
Listen, Maya Angelou, you never forget the person what they said, but you always remember how they made you feel.
Right, and that's the truth.
It's so true.
So I said, right, I just stepped in. Right, this is Richard Blackwood's doodle. Right, that's him. I'm kicking my own fierce. Right, so these are the important things, and most you got to be purposeful. So when our young kids know they have a purpose, and they also know that they got a purpose, but they got a value, and it's important that we are taught, or our children are taught, that they are valuable.
Yes.
See, I must ask them, and maybe you've said it in your answer. I've seen arguments time and time again when they've brought out maybe slave movies or movies that showed us in a certain light, not in a certain light, a part of our history where we were persecuted.
Yeah.
And they say, and I hear black people saying, I'm tired of seeing that. Why don't they show this and why don't they show that? Now, I'm of the argument that because we grew up in the 70s, we grew up watching Roots.
Oh God, don't talk.
Roots, I believe, was very fundamental in, and this is the part that gets on my nerves. It wasn't teaching us to be prejudiced towards the white people that persecuted us. It was teaching us about the value of ourselves, right? I mean, and knowing what our forefathers had actually been through for us to even get to this position. So there was a unity, even though there wasn't a segregation in the sense of, I don't like you. You know, I still went to school the next day and sat next to my white friend in school and knew it wasn't you that did it, but I now know who I am sitting next to you. If that
Yeah,
makes
it's
sense.
cool that it was like that for you, you know. I
was
know,
gonna say,
I know certain kids went through hell, you know. I know certain white kids I was defending
Oh, no,
them,
don't get me wrong,
and
no,
I was
no,
called
no.
an Uncle Tom. But I'm like,
this-
no, leave them alone. He's
No,
all
no,
right.
but I'm saying that but what I'm saying is
I had
that
fish fingers at their ass the other day.
but what I'm saying is that
With
but
mushy peas.
do you not believe it is important for young kids to understand what the struggle was?
Yeah, it's so that listen, that I would say should be unison with any young child of color growing up, right? But seriously, and people are gonna hate me for this as well. If we keep on latching onto slavery and saying, well, this is the reason why, then where's our progression gonna last in?
Okay.
Right? Now, I know of the atrocities. I've read so many books on the slave trade, right? And it was disgusting. It was horrible. It was a horrible, right? It was horrible, right? Okay, cool, right? But then, how long are we gonna have that to paint that picture and twist our paradigms of our own self?
Okay.
See, I've got a different take on it. So for me personally, this is the way that I see it. Professor Milana Karenga says that history is the struggle and process of a people trying to create the world in their images and after their likeness. So African history is the story of Africans trying to Africanize the world. The transatlantic slave trade, as told by Europeans, is not our history.
No,
it's
it's not.
their
No,
history.
it's not.
Because
And it's human theft.
History is about your good and your greats. Yeah. Now, when I teach African history, and I learnt this from Robin Walker, when I teach African
my guy.
history, that's
He's my-
all
salute
right.
that brother.
So he's my master teacher. And when how I learnt to teach the slave trade is from the perspective of the resistance.
Okay.
So not the perspective of the defeated.
Yes, understood.
You see what I'm trying to say to
Understood.
you? Because that's not our history. Because you've got to remember, Europeans have slavery in their history.
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah.
Have you
Lots
seen what
of
the Irish went through?
The Irish went through it. The Icelanders, the Vikings took slaves of the Brits, but they don't teach that in their schools because that's not their history. That is Viking history. You go to Iceland, you go to Norway, they're going to teach, well, when we went up to Britain, we had them as our slaves. Do you get what I'm trying to say to you? So the problem with things like 12 Years a Slave, the problem with things like Roots is that it's teaching African history, but from the perspective of the defeated, not from the perspective of the resistance.
1,000,000%.
So when you look at and sorry, I'm going to let you come back.
No,
So
I'm feeling this now. You're up me. Oh, yeah, you got me, Richard.
So when
Bind me.
So when we're teaching African history, we need to be looking at the Maroons. We need to be. You got to remember that there were people they were Maroon colonies that won. We need to teach the revolts. We need to teach
Was it
the Haitian
Haiti?
Revolution.
Yeah, Haiti,
right.
yeah, that's
So
right.
when we're looking at that is our history. So, for example, Czechoslovakia, Slovenia, Slovakia, Yugoslavia. The Romans took so many slaves out of that place that they put slave in the name. That Slav, that word is slave, yeah? So Yugoslav, they took so many slaves out of there. But the idea that when you say slave, the instant thought process is Africans. We think about chattel slavery is a European construct, but it wasn't always that way. Europeans have slavery too. King Henry VIII, there's a thing called being Barbadoed. And what Henry VIII did, he was the nutcase. And what Henry VIII did was when there was so many vagrants in London, and what they would do is literally go up behind them, buduf, and they'll wake up on a slave ship on their way to Barbados.
Really?
The only difference between that when they took the Europeans when they took the white slaves was they only had to survive for 7 years and then they'd be freed, given a little bit of land to crack on, whereas for the Africans it was. So one of the biggest kept secrets of European history is that a lot of white Americans are descendants of slaves too. It's not just the African Americans.
Okay.
This history is not taught. So what I'm saying is, for me, when I see things like 12 Years a Slave, Roots, and when I look at those programs there, that is European history. That's not our history. Our history is Nanny of the Maroons, Kodjo. Our history is Toussaint Louverture, Jean-Jacques Dessalines. That's our history during that period. You get what I'm trying to say to you? So that's the difference. That's how I see it.
No,
anyway.
I totally get that.
Like, was it 2000? We made a documentary for BBC. The people's effect. People's Detective, where they trace me back, and I'm of maroon descent.
Wow.
Right, so I know the whole story
Wow.
of the 17th century,
That's
their
massive.
war. Right, so of course,
massive.
right. But what I'm saying is this: people are people are people. Period. Like anyone would, and like on certain things, I'm saying like if we were to work to the confines of working on people's similarities other than their differences, then the world would be a better place.
Yes.
100%.
Period.
Agreed.
Right. Period.
I agree.
Right.
Fantastic.
We don't work to that confine.
Yeah.
Right. We don't.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it's changing, and we have to be that of the change. We got to be the ones that are progressing and pushing forward of that change, and that's where I'm on, because before, listen, I could easily wake up and blame white people for everything, right? And white people watching this have to realize I'm not talking about the 9-to-5 white people.
Yeah,
you have no
exactly.
power. You don't. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you, and I got money, so I'm telling you, you have no. But it's real. Come on, let's be real. Right? You have no power. It's the people that write and design legislations. It's
That's
the
true.
people that construct governments. It's the people that government have to answer to. It's the people that finance wars around the world.
Hedge funds.
That is the racism. That is where it is. You, the rest of the world, you are just like us, but these things are by design to make, things are bad, but not as bad as him over there. Leroy, sorry. Yeah. Right. These, it's the truth, right? And these are the things that have to change. And like, I can't, like I'm saying, the nicest thing is I see my son when he goes to school, and within his class, it's multicultural, right? It's multicultural, and looking at that, and I'm saying, boy, you know what? The friendships that he has got, where he'll discuss or describe. Like, I was playing with, we got two Billies in my class. Okay, yeah. So, and then he'll describe them as through their hair texture. Now he says it's curly, so he won't say, oh, he's white and he's black, right? And I'm saying like, right, I'm learning from my son,
Yeah.
right? Seriously, I'm learning from my son. I think that's beautiful. I'm saying, hold on to that, son. Right? No, hold on to that. And don't let no one sway you from that. Hold on. It's gonna be hard, but hold on to it. You know, I know this man, trust me.
Yeah.
But hold on to it. These are the things that I'm saying, right, you know what, I'm being taught by my son. My son's 7. I'm being taught by him. But me personally, we know we're 70s babies, so we know it was a different time then.
100%.
Yeah.
It was a very, very different time. And is racism gone? No, it's just more discreet now. And that's all it is. It's just discreet. Don't feel like racism don't exist. What's Brexit all about? Racism is alive and kicking its hair. And since Brexit, you're hearing the narratives of people's vocabularies now, how it's changing. And this is Europeans telling me, this is white people, oh, it's terrible, mate, it's terrible. Donald Trump give people free pass, you know? Oh, God.
Yeah, no, he is the epitome, right, of that definition, where it's like he speaks to, let's call it their lowest chakras. He speaks to that. Right?
And they vibrate off of it.
All right, so I'm going to play Heaven's Advocate here.
He has a thing called Heaven's Advocate. You won't even bring the devil in the room. He calls it Heaven's Advocate.
I'm going to play Heaven's Advocate,
Please,
and I know we
please.
got to wrap up. My director's giving me that look again, so I know we got to wrap. But I think that political correctness went so far in one particular direction that it made a certain demographic feel marginalized, feel like they're not being represented, feel like no one's dealing with them. Now, whether or not they're not being dealt with, I don't know. I'm not a part of that demographic. But I feel like the working class white man felt like everyone's having a go at us. All of a sudden, everyone's having a go at us.
I saw a documentary on that, fair enough.
So Donald
Somebody
Trump
said that, but go on.
Yeah, so then Donald Trump comes along and says, we're going to get you your jobs. We're going to make America great again, and brings it back. And so these guys now feel like, hang on a second, yeah, that sounds about right, because people are getting so...
He's on our side, he is.
Yeah, but people are getting fed up with political correctness, because I almost feel like sometimes the left have gone so like, listen, I'm not left nor right, and I'm not conservative. I think Chris Rock broke it down beautifully. Some things I'm conservative, other things I'm liberal. No person is just one thing. That's true.
The easiest way to break that down is this: left wing or right wing, it's the same bird.
Yes.
Period.
I like that.
Same bird.
But what I'm saying
science
is,
just got dropped like that.
no, it's the truth. It's the truth. But what I'm saying is that
And the bird is the devil.
It feels like that political correctness went in so far in one direction that people are almost feeling strangled that you can't say this. Like, all right, for example, and it's something I was going to talk about in For the Culture Extra Time, but there's a guy, he wants to identify as a black man, he's mixed race. Now, he's white, Irish, but he looks, for all intents and purposes.
Oh, yes, I know him.
I know him. I thought he was mixed race.
Yeah, I know him.
I've met him, I've seen. I did not realise. So his experiences, his life experiences. So he calls himself a reborn African, and he identifies as a mixed race man, as a man of colour, because of his life experiences.
But there's only one race, though.
One second.
But there is only one race.
No, I hear you. The human race. I've got you. But what I'm saying is, in the social construct of race. So he's saying that he identifies as a black man. That's how he identifies.
He took me acting for Cat Night to Roof.
Right. So you know him.
I know him.
Right. He looks like a mixed race
I thought
man.
he was mixed
yes.
race.
Right. Everyone did.
Yeah.
Now. He said that's how he identifies. That everyone went mad. So Jamelia was on, I think it was a Jeremy Vine show, and she asked the question, what is the difference if he's saying that he's a reborn African? That's what he called it.
Yeah,
she said, what is the difference between him saying that he's a reborn black man, even though he's got
Dual
two white
heritage.
parents or what? No, he's not dual heritage.
He's
No,
white.
he's got two white parents.
Sorry,
He's
man.
got olive skin. He looks.
He looks,
Yeah,
for all
right.
you'd think he was
I
mixed
thought he was
race.
mixed race.
Me too.
Yeah.
But so he's saying he's a reborn African. So Jamelia just
Why is he saying that?
because he's identifying. Remember, like the Dolezal woman who said that she identifies as black. Yeah. He's
that
saying
silly woman, yeah.
right. He's saying he identifies as black. So Jamelia just put forward the question saying, if I'm asked to accept that someone can be born anatomically male, but can say that they feel or identify female, reassign, and so Norman has to now be identified as Norma, and we can accept that. Why is it we refuse to accept that this guy wants to be identified as an African? Now, hold on, let me just finish. Now, you put that question forward, Twitter, Insta, every day attacked her for asking a question and just saying, what's the difference here? Now, what I'm saying is that people feel like their freedom of speech is being so strangled that when someone like Donald Trump comes along and says, I feel like punching him in the face, people think, oh, what a breath of fresh air. Oh my God, I've been wet. And so people warm to that because we're being put in a box that, man, I can't even, through fear of being homophobic, racist, sexist, misogynist, or whatever, all the ists, through fear of that, I don't even want to say anything. I don't even want to say, but hold on a minute. Why can't this guy say?
But isn't that not? I don't mean to cut you, but isn't that not? If you
Well, you did cut him, right?
kind of did, but I apologise for it, right? But I guess in essence, if we sit back and see what's transpiring right now, it will find its medium again. Because political correctness, I do agree, as a stand-up, there were certain things that I could say in my career, right, my early stage of my career, that I cannot say now.
You can't say it.
Because somebody
even though it's funny.
Even though it's funny, somebody will stand up and go, and let's not go even deep in that. There were white comedians when I was growing up in the 80s that were saying some things that black people go, oi, but we found it funny.
Jim Davison and Chalky.
What?
Yeah.
That was on TV. The man used to call his friend Chalky.
Chalky, you know.
And we didn't find it. We was like, what? Ali G, right? Ali G. I mean, I had some points about it that I didn't like, but even still, Ali G used to say, like, you'll do something stupid, and then you go, is it because I is black? And no one said nothing. Black people were the ones that were telling me to watch him, right? Do you know what I mean? And I'm watching it going, no, I'm sorry, I can't watch this, because now I was older, and I was a comedian, and I understood the power that it had. But even still, black people was like, but it's funny, and there was a market for that. But you've got someone like Donald Trump that's gone too far the other way. Right, because he's not doing it on the premise of, I want to be a breath of fresh air. He's doing
No. I do agree with you.
Yeah.
I do agree with you, but I'm saying I can understand why some people say, oh, thank God, someone say, like just taking off your belt.
No, but I agree. I agree with that. So I understand what it equates to. What I'm saying is that, but what's happening now is that people now in America, especially, we're watching them going, they've gone too far.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So now I'm saying, so we know that if there's too much air in that balloon, it's got to burst.
Yeah.
So I reckon, in answer to your question, I believe that we're already, regardless of what we say on this show, we're already seeing the pinnacle, the ending of something going too far that way and then going too far that way. Right? It's going to come back to the bird again in some shape or form. Does that make sense?
The end of history.
Yeah.
That's what sociologists call it. Listen, Spencer, how do we get in contact with you? How do we know more? This is your camera here. We want Instas.
Cool.
We just want more.
Insta is master_knowledge. Twitter is master_knowledge, and also Spencer Fearon. You can get me on any of that. If you want to debate boxing, I debate with anyone. And anybody who inboxes me, I always reply. It may take me a month because I get loads now, but I'm trying to say to you, I always reply to people because I'm trying to be a man of the people and keep it MTK Global Foundation because trust me, our foundation can actually change the world. We started already, done things with Manhood Academy, done quite things with the inner city kids, and like we're trying to finance the dreams.
Touch on that. Listen,
No,
the
why,
time
man?
has
It's cool,
run out,
man.
but
It's
you
cool.
have got to come back.
Absolutely,
Sometimes
man.
the big bro's not here. I'm going to get you in
it's
to
good,
host
it's
with
all
me,
right,
man.
it's all
If
right,
he's
man.
not, you
man,
coming?
we're
All right,
there,
that's
we're
what I
there.
want to know. When the big bro's not here, you're in. That's
God
the
bless
one.
you, brother.
Oh, my brother, thank you so much for
brother.
coming down, man.
Love,
Mad
Ladies and
love,
gentlemen,
mad love.
you have been watching For the Culture. JB, I call him JB Smooth. Jason Barrett, yeah, show them the guns, brother. Right, Mr. Spencer Fearon right here. Check him out. He's on all social media. He's on Sky. He's doing everything. And I was going to ask you about Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, but that's another conversation.
Yeah, we got it. Don't worry. When that fight eventually happens, which I believe that it will happen, then we can talk about it.
All right.
We'll leave it there.
All right.
God bless people.
JBN Comics presents Hair Rule. When an asteroid falls from outer space to Earth, a runaway slave finds the asteroid and is endowed with superhuman powers. He sets about on a mission to free his people and change the world. Unknown to him, the very asteroid that gave him his powers carries a dark secret that could destroy the world. Hair Rule, the first hero.